Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Swagman XC2 Bike Platform Rack here in the back of our 2018 Nissan Rogue. So if you guys are looking for a way of just giving yourself a very decent bike rack to go ahead and start getting you and your bikes to your destination, look no further than the XC2. Now what's going to be awesome about this guy, not going to be breaking the bank to go ahead and allow you just to get your bikes to your destination. Now if you find yourself doing a lot of long road tripping or really starting to have yourself in some hazardous terrain where you want to take your bike up to, the XC2 is probably not for you. This guy's really simple and straightforward. All you have is one securance here in your bike, and that's just going to keep it trapped in those wells, your wheel trapped in those wheel wells. So really, you're not going to get a ton of support on this guy, right? However, it does an excellent job of just getting your bikes to and for your destination. If you're like me, maybe just take your bikes out and just want to go every every other weekend or so, nothing too crazy. This is going to be excellent because it's going to allow you to get your bikes there and also store really easily inside the house. That's what's really nice about this. You're going to see later, we can go ahead and really compact the footprint that this guy's going to have when actually storing when not in use, which is awesome. You are going to have a 35-pound weight capacity, which is excellent to go ahead and get most of your bikes that you want up on here, most of those standard bikes, and even up into those mountain bike ranges, of course. Now, some of the bikes it's not going to do great on, obviously, carbon frame bikes. We have a frame hold here. That's going to end up warping and deteriorating those carbon frame bikes, unfortunately. However, if you do have a woman's bike, step-through bike, or kid's bike, one thing I really like about this system, it is fairly versatile. So you can see this arm right here allows us to kind of give it a lot of different positionings on here. You can see the different size hooks really allow you to start kind of segmenting it how you want, setting it up specifically for your bikes at home, which is excellent. And these cradles themselves too are adjustable. As you guys can see, you can slide them around. Of course, tighten them up to keep them preventing from sliding. That allows you to have longer or shorter wheelbases, which is excellent. That way, yes, you can go ahead, keep your tried and tested bike on here at all times, and then bring a couple other people out to your destination, which is great. Really do like that about that. Now, one thing I will say for a platform rack, we're missing a lot of the premium features that you usually start seeing from them. So there's not going to be a tilting action, and that's the big thing for me. I can't tilt this away and quickly access my cargo. To do that, to open that hatch, I will need to end up dropping everything out of the way and getting my bike removed. Now, I think something that's kind of similar is the Curt 2-bike platform rack out there. I know that that one can tilt as well, and that's kind of similar for kind of your price index on there. One thing I will say, you can always start looking at some more premium carriers out there that will give you a lot of other features. However, like I said, that's going to start footing the bill up a little bit higher. So let's go ahead and start taking a look at how this carrier works. So we said we only have this front hold here, or this middle hold on our mast. To release that, all I have to do, press in on this silver grip. Now, before I do that, one thing I will say, you can see how close we're sitting here on our Rogue. Our pedals would be interacting here in the bottom if we had them flipped around. So that's why our pedals kind of hanging out where it is. And that's something I'd kind of watch. You guys can see not a lot of room here between our bikes and ourselves. And that's definitely something that can be kind of something we have to watch out for. So I'm just going to go ahead and quickly give you guys this measurement from our hook to our side here so you guys can kind of keep in mind exactly what you're working with. So to that closest point of our hatch, that's going to put you at 8 1/4 there to the very inside. Call it 8 inches. That way you guys are closer. And yeah, like I said, I just kind of watch those longer pedals. Of course, you could always put that on your furthest bike, but that keeps you having your smaller bike usually on the inside. And usually you want to have your weightiest bike up closest to your vehicle. So that's definitely something to kind of consider when you guys are looking at the XC2 here on the Rogue itself. But to get this released takes no time at all. I simply walk up, make sure I'm holding onto my bike, press in on that lever. That's going to allow me to take my arm off. I can just let that hang there, and then I can simply grab my bike and gently walk it away. And there we are, ready to ride. So walking it up becomes just as simple. The only thing I said on the Rogue, I just watch how close we are getting there, of course, and making sure our pedals are appropriately spaced. That way we don't have any interaction here with our carrier and our hatch. So we actually still can't drop, we can't open our hatch in this position, right? But we do have a way of dropping the center mass. To do that, just simply walk right up. There's a pin. That safety cable is going to let it hang right there. Now we can go ahead, drop that. Now we can quickly access the back here of our Rogue. Now we can get those coolers, bike helmets, anything else you might need from the inside of here. And one thing I really do like about the XC2, you can actually bring this right back up. Now, of course, obviously, don't blow your hatch after you've done this, but you can go ahead, bring your side up here too, And that allows you to have this really nice access here. Of course, this isn't up all the way. It looks like they got it set just a little lower. But you can walk up, grab those coolers, helmets, anything else you might need. I really do like how this works. You can actually even fold up that third arm just to get it out of the way. Now, the one thing, of course, let's make sure we are dropping this before we lower our hatch again, as we don't want to damage our bike rack or our hatch. I'm just going to go ahead and quickly replace those. Drop this center guy, and then bring up our hatch here, or down our hatch. So I really do like how that works. And again, you guys can see how it can fold, makes it really, really easy to go ahead and start getting this guy folded up, which is excellent. But we do need to go ahead and start checking some of our dimensions here. The big one for me is going to be our clearance here. So from the ground here today to the end of our carrier, that's going to be putting you right at about 17¼ of an inch. One thing I will say to that though, if you do have your smaller wheels, they tend to hang a little lower inside this wheelbase here. So since we don't have anything protecting it, the smaller the wheel, the more dip you're going to have. So kind of weigh that in mind and go ahead and get that measurement. That way you're not having any interaction with your bike in the ground. That would definitely be terrible. So the only thing to watch out for as those front wheels go up, the back will go down. So if you have a very steep incline that you're approaching, just something to kind of watch. But hopefully we're not going to have too many issues, as we do have a nice little rise in our shank. That's a little helpful. Talking about that though, we can go ahead and see how extended we are, from our vehicle actually is one thing we want to get quickly before we move on to our shank. So from the back of the bumper here today to the very end of our arm, that's going to put you at 19½ inches from the back there, guys. So only about 20 inches or so, not the worst I've ever seen, especially for only a 2-bike platform rack. That's definitely not going to be anything terrible we have to work with. However, we don't have a way to actually shorten that down. So that is kind of a static element. Even when you guys get these folded up, still working with that same measurement. So moving our way down on the inside though, here you can see we do have our 1¼ shank here today. However, we do have a 2-inch sleeve converter, allowing us to utilize our 2-inch hitches as well. So that becomes really nice if you have any kind of assortment of vehicles in the family. Nice that we have that little versatility. It really does go a long way. And on the inside, you do see a threaded anti-rattle hitch bolt. Now those are pretty standard, but you love to see them. They're going to take all that shake and play out, making for a nicer, smoother ride. As you guys are going to see, as I shake this, it's shaking the entirety of our Rogue. That lets me know we're all in line with one system. And like I said, nicer, smoother ride for ourselves, our bike rack, and especially our bikes. Now, you just have a simple little clip on there, though. So that kind of brings me to the one caveat I have with the XC2. Not a lot of innate security measures. We don't have a way of securing this to our carrier, our bikes to our carrier, or our carrier to our vehicle. So something you could do, go ahead and start taking a look at Swagman's. They have a nice little combo kit that gives you a cable lock and a hitch lock. That's something I highly recommend for this. That way you just have that peace of mind of making sure everything's nice and secure. However, though, if you're just simply going up for those quick weekend jaunts, probably not going to be the end of the world just to go ahead and throw your bikes up on there. And then when you're actually at your destination, one thing I love about the XC2 is how lightweight it is. So you can simply walk it right out, throw it inside the back of your vehicle. And one thing that's awesome about it, you kind of saw how those arms come up. Well, that shank also gets released. So you really start having a really small footprint. And that makes it easy to store in the car, but also in the off season. So even if you are apartment dwelling or anything like that, not going to take up too much room to go ahead, put this in a closet somewhere. If you got a garage, going to take up no room at all. And that's one thing that I really like about it. So it's definitely got its advantages. It's got its cons, but overall, I think the XC2 is an excellent little bike rack to get you and your bikes to where you want to go. Otherwise, though, guys, I think that about does it for our look at the Swagman XC2 here in the back of our 2018 Nissan Rogue. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.
This is our test course. Let's start with the slalom. This shows side-to-side action, such as turning corners or evasive maneuvering. Then, onto our alternating speed bumps. This shows twisting action, such as hitting curbs, potholes, road debris, or even uneven pavement. Last of all, the solid speed bumps. This shows up and down action, such as driving through a parking lot or parking garage, or driving in and out of a driveway.